So, welcome. Welcome if you're currently here joining this live stream this time round with the Noah Presgrove case, the latest on what's gone down involving some shocking backlash. Wasn't expected, but it's happened in a short space of time too. Hopefully, enough people do see this live stream. Of course, it could have been done as a standard video, however, and it's important to see the live reactions to real time, as in what other people think about it, because maybe not everybody has seen the comment just yet, but today I'll be sharing that with you. And might be the odd few people present that have. So welcome to everyone watching and in the background. Be sure to let me know if the stream on your end is working in order, and let me know if the audio is okay too. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for the acknowledgement. We got Robbie Taylor, welcome, and Ellen too. No problem, Ellen. You can always catch up on this live stream at another point, another time. That's good to know the audio. So I'm going to go through it bit by bit today. What I also want to refer to is a Facebook post on the sideline, some comments, the way people are talking. And I want to touch upon something a little bit disturbing and dark, that on the sideline, within the Noah Presgrove case community, I sense I have dodged bullets at times in the past. There's a chance there was a few traps my way, and things could have gone somewhat badly. Maybe manipulation, maybe control, maybe other darker things, and I'll explain more about that later. But I've got a list of some humans that, how they acted, how they behaved. Did they have something else in mind for me? That if I had followed certain directions, if I connected with certain named people in this case, would I still be standing here right now doing this video? Because sometimes when I sense dodginess, don't even know if that's a word, in humans, what ends up happening, they end up being dodgy, basically. It's a bit of a way to lay it down, but yeah. So I'll touch upon that afterwards, but we need to look at the recent fallout, the recent backlash, which was unexpected. So, anyone else watching, joining in right now, welcome. And for the rest in the background, we got the Presgrove project, which I believe is Michael Facekaz. What's the latest propaganda? I mean news. Well, that's a good one. Almost left then. You can tell by my wooden face. Stick to the AI imagery. Yeah, I'll stick to the real thumbnails. So, anyone else watching, coming along, welcome. Just waiting for enough people to show up, of course. If you want to hit the thumbs up, the like button, that'd be appreciated. Spread the awareness. Nice. We got 28 Alice, also known as 28 days later, back again. Shout out to Alice. We got Brenda as well. We got the killer kitty, meow. Okay, good healthy amount present. Project. It's actually only 7 people using 4 of their accounts, lol. Well, Presgrove project, maybe if you hack the stream like how you were playing about last time, maybe we can, I don't know, increase the statistics maybe, unless you need permission from someone in the background. Anyway, 17 people. That's really good to see. Positive. The thing is, Presgrove projects, not everybody comments public due to the treatment and the way things go in true crime communities. Some people take the backseat to actually listen in. And to be honest, big shout out to those that do watch in the background, because that shows how focused people are, focusing more in on the content, what's being talked about, instead of getting always lost within the chat. We got Rebecca Gag Order Gagliari. Hopefully I said your name correct this time round. What have I missed? Not too sure, Rebecca, how long you've been gone for, but for the most part of it, there's been a handful of videos, as in where we start with updates and observations. We have to come to some conclusion there, mums. So, not that I can summarize it on the spot because it depends, but a lot's gone on, Rebecca, within the case, within the community. True colours have shown. Human behavioural traits have come to the forefront. That what I analysed and predicted on and off through the case from the very beginning, like I do with every single case I come across, one remains consistent, others crumble. As in the cracks form, true personalities show. Would be best if it happened immediately, to get out the way. Do we have anyone else present at this moment in time? Not from the looks of it. Okay. So, what I'm going to do to make it fair for viewing experience, let's just see which is the best way to show it. So I've got the screenshots. We're going to go through it bit by bit, just to retell the story, as in what's recently happened. Make sure I'll go all on screen, increase the brightness because I know some people may struggle to see it. So, first of all, Casey, in regard to Presgrove's mother, has spoken out in recent time, which is a positive. Similar to what Robin Smith, the aunt, did in the past. They were around for a little bit, shared their side of the story, back and forth, defended themselves when it came to, I think, Brooke Bounce Carter, calling Robin out in regard to Carter Combs and some accident at a football game. We had dialogue there, back and forth, publicly, freedom of speech. The same's happened in recent time too. 28 Alice, gruff, looks good on you. Yeah, speaking of which, Alice, any pancakes flopping about, do not let it tug the beard. Okay, this is real. Alan, what's 7 accounts using for their accounts? A riddle? Anyway. Hopefully, this shows you will be familiar with this for most part of it. I hope you can see, as best I can do at this moment in time. The video being no Presgrove update, 2 creepy coincidences you need to see. Casey had said, I was given a single golf club that was found out in the garbage behind the Newton's plumbing business around that time. What a mother beep coincidence. That in its own right is quite interesting, is it not? That's what we have recently looked at. Simply relaying what was said on here, given a single golf club. To say that it came from the Newton's plumbing business around the time, because what Caden Pressey had said does appear to be a bit of a coincidence. And the questions were, is this in regard to one of the missing golf clubs? Is this in regard to the golf clubs and bag from the Presgrove yard sale? At the end of the day, in order to get answers, you need to ask questions. And when people become a little bit problematic or show resistance to those questions, that's on them. Okay? How are you supposed to learn if no one's there to provide the answers, if they have the key to understanding? See, the difference is with other humans compared to me is when I do have answers, or at least try to, I will provide them as soon as possible. Other people don't. Some delay, others gatekeep. And look, there's a difference between holding stuff back because you simply can't, not at this moment in time, for the sake of the case, legal reasons, that's all understandable. Some people tease, breadcrumbs, a little bit here, a little bit there, teasing, expecting other people to change, other people to think align with them. If you can't go all the way, you can't go all in, that's understandable. But teasing here and there is a problem. Now, Casey has showed up in recent time. No teasing from the looks of it. Just appeared out of nowhere. Account created 2 years ago. If people, because we know there will be people that'll be lurking, won't they? Tut, tut, tut. I can see you. I can see you. That will question and, have the final word, have always an answer to say. If you specifically look back at my recent videos, how it was structured, what was said, it was done appropriately, it was done reasonably, somewhat neutral, laid it out the same foundation, structure and format like I've done since day one, the same procedure and format, which allows me to do what I do because it's handled just right. You want to look back at previous true crime cases? You want to look back at other channels? They're not here. Channels terminated, deleted, removed. I wonder why exactly. Of course, there have been attacks on me. There's been false claims and false reports. And that is unfortunate. YouTube can be incompetent, of course. YouTube can give in at times. Not much I can do about that. But what I can do is use appropriate language and wording for most part of it. Okay? What else do we have? I said this is just setting the scene for everyone and new viewers and people in the background. Don't want to leave any stones unturned. We have George Choden. Welcome. We got Janice Williams. Welcome to the channel. Is this the first time you've been here? I don't think I've seen you before, from what I can remember. Sam, for anyone that hasn't seen it already, Noah Presgrove's mother has recently admitted to receiving a golf club. The location, or where it originated from, Newton Business. Now, some people have said, considering Casey refers to the Newton's Plumbing Business, was it Robbie or Ellen that said when Caden described it, it was behind the house? Now, the business could well be the house. It may just be worded, described differently, but there was slight discrepancies there. Either way, Casey was similar, saying to what Caden Pressey had said. Casey, Noah Presgrove's mother, Caden Pressey, son to Alicia. Interesting. Right. Now, has Casey communicated with Alicia much? Don't know. But the thing is, can't question too much because from the looks of it, if I breathe, people get triggered. If I even blink my eyes, if I slightly adjust my head, people get triggered. If you was to go on Reddit, you'll know. What else do we have? We got Rue, Ellen, the business and their house, 2 separate areas, 7 or 8 miles apart. Okay, interesting. So Caden says one thing, Casey says another. It is possible there is a mistake and they mean the same exact place, but of course, want to be somewhat accurate, we've got to point it out just in case. Belonging to the Newtons regardless, it does seem quite significant, but when it's at the house, it seems a little bit odd. The house of all places. Business makes a bit more sense. Scrapyard, scrap pile, maybe where items like that could be collected. Of course, if it was the golf clubs, it's very strange to have them there, let alone at the house. What else do we have? Robbie, imagine posting propaganda daily and then accusing someone else of it. Make that make sense. Let me just double check on here, make sure I'm catching up with everything. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So before I show you it, the last video that I did was simply that comment what I showed you just then. And what I added on to that is, are the links, are the coincidences, the first video that I did in recent time on the golf clubs, which sparked the response by Casey to speak out. It's got to be prominent enough after all this time for it to just suddenly come out now publicly, right? Because eventually, when a video is done or there is a level of repetition, it can trigger a response. Whether someone's fed up and they're like, right, no, this is the real truth. This is what's really happened. It can eventually happen, right? To other people, repetition can be boring. To me, certain types of repetition is extremely important. I do not tire. We got Mia Maven. Welcome, evening. It's good about your hair. And arguably, I wouldn't even say it's repetition at times because each time you go back to it, each time you replay a memory or a thought, specifically true crime, a case, get a different outlook each time, a different question compared to the last, see things in a different way, surprise myself at times compared to how I looked at it originally. How I looked at it originally may have been one-sided or not filled out, and now a lot more different angles. So it's not quite repetition to me, but to other people that may be a little bit obtuse in mindset may have enough. But nothing wrong in that because if it leads to some answer, it's better than no answer. We got Mitchell. Yeah, I got a golf club from their scrap pile too. See how that works. Which particular golf club did you get, Mitchell? Did you get a golf ball with it at least or not? You come up short there. Robbie, no way, me too. Yeah, that's exactly how it works. The timing is, of course, most important. Now, got to refer to Casey as in the name because that's what the case study, the talk is about. It's not about bashing. It's not about being negative. It's about trying to understand the situation, right? There's a process to everything. Every room that you enter, there's a structure to it. In every encounter that you may have in each room, there is a process in learning. And for some humans, in some situations, they should know better, right? Anyone wants to question me, all you have to do is go on my channel, do the research, go through, for example, all 60 plus psychology videos and counting, and every other analyzation of the human race on my channel. Experience, consistency, frequency, process. Humans don't understand. They've not been around long enough to get it. That's not my problem, okay? We've got DJ Donnelly. Shout out to DJ, long-time viewer, good individual. Kenny Veach case, remember you. Mitchell says he's got 2 balls. That's always, positive to know, of course. If they're working fine, that's good. But Mitchell, if you ever lose one of them, Dr. Warlight Ref's office doesn't quite specialize in that. So thought I'd just give you a heads up, Mitchell. Mia, loving the beard ref. Perfect for the upcoming fall weather. Here's hoping summer ends very soon. Is Mia suggesting that Warlight Ref needs to become Father Christmas? Who's going to be on the naughty list, I wonder? We got Joyce Bergau. Hey everyone, listening whilst working, multitasking. Render, I appreciate repetition on things in this case because I miss things at times. You're welcome. And to be honest, repetition, routine, very important. We got Slicky listening while I was working also, so welcome Slicky too. Nice profile picture. So like a skull or something. Okay. So the video that I did talking about the golf club based on what Casey said. If Casey had said nothing, there would be no video, right? What Casey had said was by their own choice, their own decision to leave that comment. It was public, publicly viewable, and still to this day. Okay? We have the right to read a public comment. We have the right to react accordingly. There is nothing wrong with that. How I responded to Casey's comment is like how I've responded to most humans in this case, but with an added layer of understanding. Because it wasn't that long ago, I actually did arguably a dedicated video and a psychological analysis in understanding the effects it can have, and with Casey. And there was a few comments here and there that said, thank you for your sensitivity, your patience, your understanding. See, the reality is I can take it serious. If you look back previously where people were saying, oh, you're joking around, wrong time, wrong place. Funny that, because when I seem to get serious, because that's what I do, and naturally, people can't seem to handle or tame it. Too serious, too focused, too locked in. Can't have one, can't have the other. What do you want? Very hard to please, are you not? Some humans, my disappointment is beyond immeasurable. Okay? DJ Donnelly, AI can make up a convincing story that Kenny Veach is still alive and claim it legitimately true. There was some articles, I'm not too sure if you've seen them, DJ, in regard to online and how it was made up or how it was worded. Abysmal. It made no sense. There was a Facebook one talking about Kenny Veach and his friend went out there. That doesn't make any sense. Kenny went out by himself. That's why what I do when there are articles, and it is hard to keep up with them, I try and look maybe once a month just in case. It's hard to remember them all, but try and tick them off the list. Read, analyze, even if it's repetition. It's not repetition to me, it's important because when new people come along, they might believe in it and it's wrong. They're going to believe in lies. So, got to change it, got to correct. Mia, leave Raf alone. Haters and criticizers are just envious and jealous because Raf has proven his in-depth intelligence and emotional intelligence time and time again. Appreciate that. Beside the facial expressions, of course, I would say in terms of the emotional intelligence or depth, and I don't like being cocky besides taking the piss at times in terms of the emotional intelligence. I'm one of the most emotionally intelligent humans upon this entire earth to the absolute core. And of course, humans can always contest that. That's understandable. But there's one thing that I'm confident in life is exactly that. I have depth no other human will ever go to in life, with the exception of maybe the other person. Credit to them. But beside that, there's a time and place for everything. In a different situation, maybe with a different person, after how they've been treated and how some have responded, by now some would be swearing all over and going full in. I have not, because I'm aware that this isn't just any person, any stranger. This is the mother to no Presgrove that will have obstacles and other challenges going on in life on and off. That is just an observation, simple as, if you want to try and counter that as well as the case of Noah Presgrove. So of course, when juggling with a lot, in terms of responding and replying, it may not always be as clear, it may not always, follow the same flow. Sometimes humans take it out on the wrong people. That might be the case as of recent time. As said, the video that I did about the club, a public comment by Casey, That's simply why it was. Relaying what she said. But what she said was vague. Let's acknowledge it once again. Let me explain to you why it was vague. Single golf club found at the Newton's plumbing business. Based on what Caden Pressey said, to an extent, you would think that, oh, this might well be the golf clubs, because Caden Pressey, if you'd hoped to believe in him, said he had a conversation with Dalen, the brother, and Dalen confirmed, well, yeah, that's what they are, based on the description. So Caden was firm in belief that what Dalen described is exactly what Caden saw at the scrap pile. And that was back in 2024. We are now in 2026, and Casey refers to the same thing in a similar way, give or take the location. So you would think if Casey is consistent with what Caden says, and what Caden says is the truth, that the golf clubs are belonging to Dalen and ended up over there. So if Casey says, I was given a single club, that just so happened to be from the location, which in a way, Dalen and Caden came to a conclusion was the golf clubs, you would think that this would be the golf club. What is wrong with that? Do any humans have any issue with that? Common sense, understanding basic language and wording, you could interpret it that way. But of course, we need confirmation. We need a deeper understanding. We need to hear it from the horse's mouth. And I'll tell you one thing. There was one time in the Dylan Rouse case, I said, we need to hear it from the horse's mouth. And some woman got offended and said, oh my God, are you calling me a horse? Well, I've not seen your face, actually. I don't know if you've got a long face or not. But, you know, it's a saying. It doesn't actually mean you're a horse, unless that's what you want to be. I mean, I can do a good horse impression, but we're not going to do that right now. But, you know, the way some people are responding, can't even understand basic lines and words. What hope is there? Oh, we got Joel. Welcome, Joel. Can't remember what was the last Kenny Veach video I did, but I think I did a couple here and there. There are more to come, Joel, but previously, based on the traction and the way YouTube was putting it out there, it felt like certain important videos may have gone to waste. So I just want to try and time it, but there is still stuff going on. Joel, I wish I could watch, but I'm on a road trip today. I need to catch up on your Presgrove and Nancy Guthrie. Okay. Let me know what you think of the Nancy Guthrie case. You do what you need to do for now, and have a good time. Do we have any other comments along the way? If you've got any comments in regard to where we're at right now, you can always leave it in the live chat on the right side of the screen. But of course, it's good to see a few more people watching this time round. And again, it is to do with Nerd Presgrove, so you kind of hope for that as well, for the awareness. Sam, vague. Single golf club, maybe Nerd Presgrove related, maybe not. But the video that I did, I highlighted it like that. But to refer to a coincidence makes it seem a lot more than just a simple golf club. Despite how some people may act and react at times and what they truly think of Casey, I remained neutral. I gave scenarios based on what people could say. I think humans don't fully understand the depth and the consideration. I provide scenarios so you have something to work with. I provide scenarios so you have an idea of what the outcome could be like. So it makes you better off, or at least you've got things to work with in anticipation. What else do we have here? Tim is on a beach. Make sure no crabs get you unless you've got the crabs. Oh no, you've got an octopus instead. Close enough. Hey, Tim Daniel, has the black pearl shown up out of the waters yet? You found any treasure? Where's a ram? I don't know, Tim. Tell me where a ram is. What else do we have? We got RKB, welcome. What is the statute of limitations for this case? Well, up to now, the statute of limitations, which I've come across, not that I can recite it, would be the social hosting, the laws about that, Oklahoma and the party. And what was the last thing that was acknowledged with the DA office, amongst others, talking within a 30, 40-day period for things to be considered or finalized for it to follow through with, because if not, it may not count, as in the social hosting. And again, you still have the wrongful death lawsuit on the sideline, so there is still that. Do we have anything else? Okay. Yeah, I believe humanity will never evolve. We are in an era of the most whining, oversensitivity, most instant gratification seeking slugs of all time. Most humans are of a hive mind intellect. Whew. Okay. Wow. Where do we begin? There's one thing I can touch upon in just a second. But yeah, appreciate everyone watching and appreciate those hearts in the chat. I do see them. I do see them very clear, very bright. Tim, no horses yet. I'm going to hike to the other side of the island in a little bit. Okay. Well, make sure, Tim, you don't turn into a missing person case, or I might have to cover it on the channel. Robbie, social hosting has roughly 4 weeks or so left to be filed. Manslaughter, I believe, is 10 years and none on the murder. So what I would say, Mia, just on the sideline, an example platform, Reddit. Yeah. An example on Reddit, and I'm just going to keep this very short. I was just simply making suggestions about some feature in a game, not that big of a deal, but so much resistance from people. There was a YouTube related question as well, talked about that as well, about AI, thumbnails, lazy way, can't be asked to make your own, have to choose the easy way out, clearly lacks a creative mind, unexpiring mind, says a lot about that type of character. And some people brag on saying, well, I'm a graphics designer and I create all kinds of special shapes. Well, good for you. Shame you don't actually apply that. You rely on AI, etc. So people got triggered. People get triggered when I make observations. It seems like these so-called hard people, I'm not talking about people of today, I'm talking about people all time round, anywhere, any place, any time, any age, because when it comes to my words, my language, with variety of humans out there, some of it seems to change up. When I make a certain type of video after dark, that seems to speak to people and maybe speaks to people's bodies, makes it react in all kinds of ways. We might need another video like that soon, don't we? But then other times, when I do videos making simple observations, even if it's negative or neutral, people whine and complain there. And we're not talking about the typical sensitive people. We're talking about the people that have a go about the sensitive people. You see where this is going? I seem to be an exorcist, exorcising all those demons within humans without even trying. You know, you can swear, you can insult, but what really triggers people is if I say, you're a little bit dodgy. Seems to get underneath people's skin. Or maybe more so, it's because it leads to a little bit of doubt within and frustration that it might actually be true within people and their ability or lack. Anyway, Mia, Ref, if you ever did cosplay as a horse, it would be a majestic. Well, I've not quite cosplayed as a horse, but I did sit on a horse once, but it wasn't quite a real one. I'd probably dress up as Batman. I think I've got the build for it, but where's the Catwoman at? I don't know. Mia, people getting triggered over anything says everything you need to know about those people. But it's people you probably wouldn't expect to get triggered are the ones that are getting triggered upon the ones that normally do get triggered. It's a constant cycle. Whoa, easy there, Alice. Meow. I remember Watcher of Crazy tried purring once in a video. I don't know if that was a reaction once of one of mine. She went, purr, purr, purr. Now, when I do it, I cover my mouth because it just the facial expressions. I don't do I do a little bit wild. But I best not make too many sounds because if I make too many sounds, people are gonna get triggered and say, "Oh, you're making a mockery of the case." You can't win, can you? Tim says, "So Noah's mother admits to getting golf clubs. I'm going to guess she had them all as well as his, whatever that means, and phones, the wallet and phone." Right. So, with the structure of the last video and all of the witnesses that have already watched it, to summarize, I simply relayed what she said and I asked questions and I said, credit to Casey for speaking out and sharing. If you can answer the questions in your own time, that'll be appreciated. That's all I did. What was her response to me directly? Supposedly directly, because it was in reply to a comment of mine. Mia, my dog went crazy looking everywhere when you did that purr. Oh, Mia, it was not a purr. That was a wild growl. I can think of the odd person that can growl rather well from my memory in the past. Anyway, beside, I best not bark like a dog then. I'll probably send the dog crazy. Anyway, get ready. Hopefully you can see it. A bit wonky. Bloody hell, it is wonky. I'll read it in case you can't quite see. Casey had said, I admitted. Admitted. We'll have to look at that definition of a word. I admitted to be given a golf club. I did not describe what it looked like. I never said you did, but I asked a question in hopes of a follow-up. That did not happen. Would you please stop blasting me? Now, this is not to be rude, but simply as an observation. I'm doing my video, I'm asking questions, I'm reacting, I am trying to make sense and process what we have. Because the thing is, in life, there's often times where I have to interpret things because it's not always made clear. Sometimes we can be left in the dark and we've got to try and work it out ourselves. You can't blame someone in that position. That's why if a person has the key, the light to the dark, the key to the door, then maybe consider using it then. Not everyone does. It's like individual leaves a public comment, open to interpretation and vague. People react and question within reason. The moment people ask valid, genuine questions, Casey then says, stop blasting me. What's the definition of blasting? Insulting? Criticizing? Overwhelming? Interrogating? Is that what she means? What else can one do? To suddenly drop it that you have a golf club, that's pretty big news. That's breaking news. And I know some people on the sideline like to say, oh, too much breaking news. There's too much. What? You prefer that there's no breaking news? I am sure people malfunction in here when in the presence of me at times. Some people say some of the most questionable things going. Like the time where some were begging me to stop covering the case, to basically stop keeping it alive. That doesn't make any sense. And now in recent time, too much breaking news. Is it breaking news? What? Blah, blah. You don't want any news? You don't want any updates? You want nothing? It doesn't make any sense. And now, I'm going to drop a breaking news comment, a statement, despite what I may have said in the past about never having it, but I do have it now, or I did have it then when I said I didn't have it. This is not me saying it, but there's a variety of people out there that could go in hard and say, so you're a liar. Back then you said you never had the clubs, never saw them. But now you're saying you do have them, but you worded it as back then. That basically means you're lying. That's what other people would say. But the reason why people may not say it is because they respect Casey too much because of the Presgrove case and being the mother to Noah. Some people have self-control. That should be appreciated at the very least, because we see how other humans act. We see how bridges can be burnt down. And in this case, a bridge was actually built up for the voiceless, only for it to be shattered and wasted because, what, of a misunderstanding or overreacting? Just a little bit. Let me just catch up on the chat briefly. Robbie, I guess I'm either jaded or maybe just an awful person, but her saying she was given the club specifically from the Newton scrap pile just seems like a very convenient confession. Mia, one feeling blasted over a simple question should quietly exit the forum and should have not entered in the first place. Yeah. Because in a way, you should know what you're getting yourself into. And considering how it's gone here, this has been handled rather well, unlike other areas and other places at times. Tim, admitted as in didn't admit to it previously. I'd expect Casey is next of kin and would receive any belongings Noah perhaps left, other items in his truck that Mom got. Very big news, so maybe now we can take the golf clubs out of the discussion. Morrill was not beaten with a golf club. That was then given to his mom. That's absurd. Now, is it possible that wasn't transparent back then because it was easier to say that they were still missing to push that idea that it must mean it's foul play? Now, of course, it still doesn't clear everything because whether Casey received it from day one or later, one golf club isn't enough. It would imply there is still missing golf clubs, unless people believe it's another lie. It's not just one club, it's the whole set, but make it out as one so it sounds worse than it is. You might believe it to be murder, nothing wrong in that. You might believe that there is true justice needed because of dark foul play in the background, that's understandable. But any actions of faking, enhancing, sensationalizing, adding to the mix, taking from the mix in an unnatural way just to push a certain agenda is actually going to do more harm to the case than good. People should know better, those within specifically. This is not a good look. It's almost like the downfall. This shows how fragmented the case is. We've already acknowledged how fragmented the community is, but the case within, fragmented. The Dylan Rounds case, as dysfunctional as that was, different family dynamics, can't ignore that. Two parents came together, no longer together, but came together for the sake of the son and were able to communicate, but also communicate with the public and try to be crystal clear along the way, at least giving updates as well. Slicky, who gave her the club? Well, there was no answer to that. And maybe if we do ask that question, we'll get told off for asking questions. What next? I'm going to get told off for existing on this earth. Actually, it really wouldn't surprise me if that does happen. Now, I'm sure some people will be watching, lurking, taking notes right now and up to now, of course. I'm aware of that because people are always watching. Got Tammy, I don't know if I said that before, but welcome, Tammy. Did Jack or Caleb give the golf club to her? Rebecca, so this video is about Casey, Noah's mom. Well, I've shown it on the screen just before. I don't know if you saw that, Rebecca, unless you're coming in and out of the stream. I mean, I've tried explaining every aspect, gone slow, because I know not everyone will always be present or watching. Let me know, Rebecca, if you want a summary on the spot right now. Let me know. I'll do that. It's getting a bit warm, so I'm just going to open the window. There's a breeze going. Rebecca wasn't paying attention. Ooh, Rebecca. Naughty, naughty. Never mind. So I'll summarize it to you, Rebecca. Okay, so just feel free to listen in right now. Short story is, I made a video to begin with in regard to Caden Pressey, the phone data, Alicia, the lies. If you want proof, Rebecca, my video back there will show it. Furthermore, Rebecca, if you want proof of Caden Pressey's timeline being systematically debunked to an extent, there's proof of that as well. With the official transcript of the dispatch call and the ODOT timer when the highway was closed, much later compared to what Caden Pressey described, meaning his time was off, his timeline is off, non-negotiable. It is all on my channel, but unfortunately, Rebecca, it was in recent times, so you wouldn't have seen it. But if you need any guidance, I will provide it to you. That aside, the video that I did recently, Caden Pressey, phone data, the meetup never happened, plans fell through, and I was with communication to Robin Smith. Casey didn't seem too happy by that. They made their comment, their presence known publicly as of the last week or so, called out Robin, said she's doing no good for the case, bad person. In other ways, can't be trusted. Casey had a few bad words to say about Robin. It wasn't positive whatsoever. It's consistent with what Casey has said in the past about being alienated, isolated from the case, and Noah Presgrove, and so much more. I did a video about it, relaying, analysing, and understanding in a sensitive, controlled way. And then after that, what sparked, I did a video on a Presgrove yard sale, which just so happens to have golf clubs in the background. The video, the title, was Two Creepy Coincidences. There's a reason why it's titled Coincidence, because that might be all it is. Now, people on the sideline seem to downplay it and say, well, it's not the case, it doesn't exist, not there, not there. Even Michael Facecaz said, nope, the golf clubs have not been returned. So how come a few days later, Casey then comes out with that comment? She received a golf club around the time back then. Yet back then she said she had never received a golf club. Whether that golf club is the real one, or it's some joke or prop item which some stranger gave to her as a sick joke and she believed in it to be real, whatever, communication should have been established long ago. So we're not in this mess. I'm here to clean it up, okay? The questions of who gave it to her, unknown. I asked a question, I did not receive an answer. In regard to the timing of when it truly happened, I asked a question, I did not receive an answer. As in the condition or the look of the golf clubs, I asked a question, I did not receive an answer, but Casey turned it on me and said, I never described what it looks like. Casey was wording it as if I was putting words into her mouth, but if you look back at my video, frame by frame, second by second, you would know I was not incorporating the words of her, because she never said them to begin with. I was using the words of Caden Pressey, the words of Caden's so-called friend called, I say so-called, supposed friend, Kobe, that was present. The condition of the clubs, based on what two guys witnessed, not what Casey witnessed. Casey had the opportunity to add in and say, yes, what Caden Kobe said is true. Or, I don't know, but the club that I have is in okay condition. All it required was a simple answer to a simple question. But time and time again, no matter what human it is, for some reason, either shows resistance, gets defensive with me, or becomes stubborn. Now, there's only been really one documented time I was stubborn in answering a person's questions, but that was done with a clear reason when Justin Roy was barking orders in an entitled, millennial-like way. Okay. I did have certain answers that I could provide, but I chose not to give them because with that wretched attitude and behavior, they did not deserve it at the time. Just like Laura Dutton, a few teeth short of a half of a piano, ended up barking orders at me when it came to Vanessa Salazar and said, you need to give us an answer. What have you done to Vanessa to make her upset? I simply woke up in the morning, I stretched my body, I didn't even get time to get any cereal or water, and people are already demanding answers. Excuse me. Allow me some time to breathe and stretch my body, okay? I didn't even get that. Who does Laura Dutton think they are? Now, I know there was someone on the sideline that said, oh, we best act in order or we'll be called cretins. Well, it says about them if that's what they refer to themselves as. I guess they're learning them. That's something. Rebecca, where's the rest of the clubs? Why just one? Exactly. I asked that question. I did not receive an answer. But what I did receive was them saying, stop blasting me. How can I be blasting you when I'm simply asking questions? Now, let's just look at a definition. Give me a second. Yeah. Oh, and just as a little observation on the sideline, let me actually turn the light on first of all, just so we can be crystal clear. Just give me a second. Then I did that, I thought it was quite a good transition. Jesus, we had the light. Don't know if it makes any better difference to the quality. There's no focus button on this like how it is on mobile, so that's the only downside to it. Should be okay. Yeah, so the only little observation is, I know there are people in the No Presgrove community that like to play dumb, act dumb, and other people that like to claim they've got a bad memory. Yeah, I'm not falling for that, okay? I am aware, maybe too aware of too much, too often, but I am. No matter what true crime case or community, it will be a chessboard. That's what happens. Rebecca, sorry, but I can't stay and be a part of a video against Casey. So, Rebecca, in all fairness, I hope you're listening right now. Let me know if you are, before you do depart. Is it not important to know the full context? With respect, Rebecca, you have not watched most of this video, or should I say live stream, because you've not been paying attention. Now, when a human does not pay attention, they're not going to understand what's being talked about, okay? I'm not being rude, I'm being honest. If you do have the time right now or later, feel free to rewind back to the beginning. Or I can summarize it as like what I was doing before. The simple reality is, Rebecca, I'm minding my own business. I'm covering the case, doing what I can. Different perspectives, different theories, and documenting the changes along the way. Unexpectedly, Casey made the decision to simply leave a comment on my channel. If we talk about being negative or hateful, the person that initiated a negative comment, which could be true, is Casey calling out the Presgrove family. Before you go anywhere, Rebecca, I do have proof, and I will show it to you right here, right now. I just need to get up on the phone just so you can see for yourself. Are you ready, Rebecca? I don't want to be a part of any of this. I don't need to hear your side. It feels wrong to me. But that's understandable. However, if we're choosing emotions over critical thinking, that's where the downfall is. Okay? We've seen how other people talk, or more so type. Some are in a shouty tone, others maybe in lowercase. Here, consistent, the same as it was since day one. Not everyone may like that. That's not my problem. We've got Michael Facecast in his account now in full form. Welcome, Michael. This is what Casey said. Not my words. Okay? It's very simple. Why is she, as in Robin, speaking for my son? That lady has done nothing but cause problems and has taken my responsibilities from me. She is up to no good. If you don't like that, that's not my problem. Take it up with them or somebody else. I am simply sharing with you a public comment. What would you want instead? For it to be deleted? Oh, and then we'll get done for censoring and covering up the truth and what? No freedom of speech. Let me tell you something. I am damned if I do, damned if I don't. I can never win. But I knew that from the beginning. I'll do what I can, and that is all. And if people don't like it, it's very simple. You stop consuming the very thing that you detest. Not everybody is taking it on board. With credit to Caden Pressey, he did. He said, I'm stepping back from here. I'm not coming back. At least from the surface level, that's exactly what he followed up on. Justin Roivo, as we've seen previously, and in recent time, once again, not a man of his word, because he said he was done since February of 2026. He's still here on and off, even on videos which have absolutely nothing to do with him. And Michael Facecast, simmer down, because Robin Smith has had a few things to say about you in the past. Unless we need to get that up on screen as well. Okay? Humans need to take a breath, reflect, know your place, know your role. Okay? Read again. Noah's mother. Why is she speaking for my son? That lady has done nothing but cause problems and has taken my responsibilities from me. She's up to no good. Okay? That's not my words. Now, there's more to it if you wish to watch the video. But if you don't, that's okay. If it's too much Rebecca emotionally, that's understandable. But you can't be coming to conclusions when you don't know the full context if you're not willing to learn. There's already been a handful of people over time on Facebook that jump to the conclusion and say, Raf didn't talk about this, Raf didn't talk about that. You know what their add-on was? I only watched 30 seconds. Let me just shut the window because my intros to my videos are about 2 to 5 minutes long. Do you honestly expect to learn much out of 30 seconds of consuming videos? People from afar coming to certain conclusions without even bothering to learn or research. Whenever it gets too much, you can take a step back. You can choose to not be a part of something. There's nothing wrong in that. But start making claims or, suggestions or going on, not in a position. Rebecca, I don't want to learn and be a part of this insanity. Insanity is subjective. Doing the same thing over and over again could be the definition of insanity. But how can it be insanity when the repetition isn't quite the same every time, when questions are different than ever, perspectives deeper than ever? There is a difference, impetuous one. Furthermore, if you choose not to be a part of whatever you call insanity, that's understandable. But you don't have the right whatsoever to be coming to certain conclusions about the video, about the channel. And if you do, my disappointment will be beyond immeasurable. When humans start acting problematic, I stop seeing them as humans. I start seeing them as patients. Okay? I do what I do. I keep my distance. But if humans start causing problems when I'm simply doing my thing, there's an issue. Okay? And I will document, I will spread awareness, and I'll remain consistent as I have since 2020. People tried to take me out in 2022. It did not work. Arguably, there might be the odd person on the sideline that wanted me dead. It did not work. Even further back before YouTube, a person in real life, an actual so-called friend, I almost fantasized wanting to shoot me. It did not happen. Okay? And that's the problem. A lot of words, lack of action. That's how it always is. A repetitive, endless, petty, infantile, impetuous, ignorant, egocentric, arrogant cycle. Okay? I am being extremely reasonable. There's many other humans out there that would not be. In fairness, there might be some people in chat biting their tongue because they respect me a lot and they wish that they could say what they really think about certain people. Okay, I understand that. I see it. I sense it. There will people on and off in the chat and even just simply watching in the background, wishing they could type, say something right now, whatever it is, release that energy, release whatever, but they choose not to because they respect the channel here a lot more than the problem they're dealing with. So shout out to those people. I said multitasking at this moment in time. For the people that have joined who have not been around for a while, may likely disperse and go elsewhere, we already know. We already know where certain people will go, don't we? Run off to the masters, run off to the little daddies, run about all over the place. May play the victim card, may speak on behalf of someone else with a victim card. When it comes to within a case, it can be a very touchy, sensitive topic, especially the people at the forefront or the ones in question or being talked about just happen to be the victim's family, the victim's parents, the victim's friends. But you know what I find quite interesting? When it comes to the victim's family, okay, we've got to be sensitive and understanding there. Oh, but when it comes to the victim's friends or the victim's best friend, oh, no respect there. We can go all in and can just accuse them of being a murder from day one. We can be as reckless as we want with them. But I know for other people on the sideline, no, we'll be careful there. So you're picking, you're choosing when and where and when it's acceptable and when it's not. That's not exactly holistic, is it? Maybe that's where some people go wrong with that one-dimensional mindset. The difference is, if I analyze in one way with one person, I'll do the same elsewhere. It's called consistency, whether you like it or not. Put your emotions aside, use critical thinking. Now, I mentioned about emotional depth. There's a time and place for that, of course. I just happen to be a hybrid in balancing it all out. So, for those that have stayed, shout out to you. For the others that have ran away because you can't take it, you can't handle it, that's not my problem. I'm being extremely reasonable. I'm trying to provide context. I'm spending the evening, the night trying to single handedly explain it to people what's gone down. And people have the cheek to not listen. People have the cheek to not pay attention. Now, apologies about that, Mia. I need to just cut in quickly because there is a super chat in chat. I did see it before, but when I'm locked in, I focus in on the camera. Okay. Let me just do that very quickly. So we got Maddie, evening. Welcome, it's good about your hair. We got Mikey. That's good, Mikey. Welcome. Mia, thank you, Raf, for all your in-depth research and investment of time in these causes. You are one of the best channels on YouTube for the hard, cold, unwavering truth and should have 1 million subscribers. So I appreciate that. Mia, big shout out to Mia. Been around for a while now, supportive on the channel, good individual. Okay. So, supposedly, what do we have there? I'm going to just go and try and find it quickly if I can, if possible. Because some people that come along return back, the questionable ones. In the back of my head, I already sense it, but I'm still going to be neutral towards them. But in here, I've got an idea, okay? I know some people in the chat in the background say, oh, well, that person's an absolute twat. Okay, well, in here, possibly. But time and place. Just want to see if I can find it, because if some people want to try and turn or twist, there will be some screenshots along the way. Oh, what have I just found? Noah Presgrove's family calling out Michael Fay's Kaz. What else do we have? Previously, as we've seen, Justin Roy being called out by the police, by the family. Great job. Now, let's balance it out right now. What I'm about to do right now single-handedly separates me from all humans upon this earth at this moment in time, this second. The reality is, okay, what Casey has said, of course, could be heat of the moment, an emotional time, taking it out on the wrong person. But if they truly mean what they say, as in, ref, stop blasting me, to the outside world who see that without much context will say, ref, you're no better. You're attacking an innocent, vulnerable woman. Shame on you. That will be the public outcry. Before it reaches the headlines, the newspapers, that is how it will go. I am a male. That already makes me an enemy in some people's eyes based on how the world is nowadays and the outlook of people's attitudes. When there's a false claim or a misunderstanding, the general public that lack context won't believe in the one being accused, they'll believe in the one doing all the labeling. And then down the line, once bridges have been burnt and resources have been burnt and it's taken a psychological toll on the true innocent person being labeled, what did the general public do at the end of it? Oh, didn't know. Sorry. Some people don't stick around to find out, do they? Anyway, what I'm getting at is, if Michael has been called out by Noah's family, if Justin has been called out by Noah's family, all documented as proof evidence on my channel before you question it, okay? Does that mean I'm just as bad if now the mother of Noah has said, Raf, stop blasting me? The problem is I wasn't blasting to begin with, but if that's what they believe, is that's what they think, what happens next? Well, reality is, in fairness, beside this, because I have the right to defend myself. I have the right to explain it from my side, despite whether people believe it or not. As I said, if there was ever a time where there was a bit of conflict, a bit of resistance, I'd simply put it aside, close a chapter, and then do whatever next. That is what I can do. Whether I choose to cover the Presgrove case or a different area within the case, when it specifically comes to Casey Smith, I simply close that chapter. Even if I have the right to continue and talk about stuff, if I continue in regard to blasting Casey, what good does that do? It will do no good for me. It'll give people ammunition. What I'm doing, I'm systematically reverse engineering what will eventually happen if I continue. I'm basically giving it to you, foreshadowing what can happen. If I continue, if I push on like a crusade, if I stick to the same style as I have done in other areas, because of the person this individual is, there's a greater weight behind it, which will pull on people's heartstrings. People will always listen and look to know his mother than an outsider like me, which biologically is understandable, psychologically understandable. Doesn't mean to say it's fair though, right? But I did say in the past, if there was ever any conflict, because there never has been before, but if there is now, I simply close the chapter, and that is it. I do something no other human can do, because everyone falls back on their promises, don't they? Okay? So if I initiate it tonight, this is it in regard to that area and chapter, and I focus on other parts, then that's what I can do. Then humans don't have ammunition. Humans will throw the toys out the pram and whine and say, oh, look, that person's a man of his word. Why can't we be like that? Exactly. Why can't you? Sam, interesting times. I've not let Michael off the hook just yet. I'll show you the proof and evidence in just a second, whether Michael, the Presgrove project, or the AI slop project is present. I will provide the evidence and proof in just a second, whether you like it or not, and we'll go from there. Slicky, he's got the clap. At least you got to see the hands and not just the sound, because that would have been hard to explain. Robbie, people complain about others disrespecting the family, yet some continue to ignore the family's own request to back off. Exactly. Any humans that come at me could well be the same humans that were told off in the first place. They're in no position to be talking. Okay? I would argue on the sideline if there was a misunderstanding, because I like to cover all my angles or as best as I can. The only small possibility that could be the case, and if Casey could explain it, that would be appreciated. Sometimes people respond back to the wrong comments. Sometimes people respond back to the wrong people. Part of me is thinking, did Casey, when she said, stop blasting me, she was actually referring to George Choden? I'm just making an observation, because last night or whenever, George Choden was the one suggesting and pushing to look at those documents to do with Casey and getting in trouble or something previous. I did not say that. I did not pursue it. But George was prodding, okay? From their mind or perspective, they do what they think needs to be done. But if Casey said, stop blasting me, as in George, stop blasting me, well, Casey responded to the wrong person. It's important to say, and I'll just double check to be sure. Let me just find it. Okay. Just acknowledge one thing. Even though it's a reply, it does not say at Warlike Wrath. So you could argue and say maybe it wasn't directed at me, but accidentally it was posted as a response to me, making it seem like Casey was calling me out when maybe Casey was actually calling someone else out. But that's not my problem. It's happened too many times where people have accidentally commented and how they've worded it without context sounds like they're having a go at me. Then I respond back and say, excuse me, who do you think you are? And then they respond back and say, oh, sorry, I didn't mean you. I meant you as in that other person in the chat. Not everybody tags the person they're meant to be speaking to. Or in the comment, they don't say, Raf, stop this. They just say, stop that. People sometimes insult me. Okay, I don't know if I can say the word because it's YouTube. They might say the R word to describe me, autistic, but they don't actually say my name. They just use the words and lines, and I just respond back saying, "Don't be hard on yourself." And then their response is, "Excuse me, no, I meant that to you," but they did not qualify who they were referring it to. I knew they were saying it to me, but they did not qualify with my name or tag. So it can be turned around the other way in a light-hearted way, but with the more serious situations like this and what Casey has said, well, doesn't look good. Take this into consideration because I like to cover all angles. If the next follow-up point, because of the emotional heartstrings, the emotional blackmail, everyone watching right now, take it in mind, there could be emotional blackmail and manipulation towards me. Don't worry, I've dealt with it in the past. There's been times in the past where people have been willing to remove themselves from this earth and pin the blame on me. It's happened in the past. Even Cleo worded it as if I wasn't here, you wouldn't care, Raf, making it seem like that I'm cold and I have no heart. People are that manipulative and will go to such great lengths to make me look bad if it means they sacrifice themselves. That's extreme. That's unnecessary. But I've dealt with that. I've put up with that. So if now humans have the cheek, others on Facebook, to say, look what Raf's doing, look at this, look at that. No position to be doing that whatsoever. You have no evidence at all. You know, it's not guaranteed, but if Rebecca was to go anywhere and communicate with people in the background, that would be rather unfortunate when not willing to listen or stick around. To have the attitude in life of, I can't deal with this, I can't take this, okay. But if you leave, you don't learn. And if you don't learn, you won't understand. And if you don't understand, how can you come to a conclusion then? You come into a conclusion on bits and bobs that you listen to, but without listening properly. If you're not paying attention, why do you have the attention and time to word it in a negative way, as in how it's looking here? You say it's insanity, but how can it be insanity when you've not been around to understand what's been going on? I could say there is insanity with the community and other people, and I've documented and put up with it along the way, right? We could argue and say what is insanity is not paying attention, but somehow having the attention to know what's going on when you don't actually know what's going on because you didn't listen. If these people are got degrees or university educated, it's clearly not showing. Okay? I don't have degrees, I don't have papers all over the place, but I do have common sense. Okay? What else do we have? The victim card has been overused to oblivion. It has. Just own up to your own actions, whether good or bad. I can't understand someone thinking Raf's speaking about a topic as an attack. People will interpret it as attack when it doesn't align with what they think or like. I don't like fake people. I've seen people on my channel over time who will watch and listen and then at some point will drop off because they're like, oh, we don't like the direction now. Oh, but you were quite okay with me attacking other people that you didn't like. But the moment I am holistic and balanced and I do it in a different direction, oh, you don't like it now. but you liked it then. I mean, we could give some examples. It's like, oh, let's just go to a country and bomb the hell out of it. That's all fine and good, but we do a country that you like or support. Oh, it's now a problem. So you're picking and choosing them. You incompetent plank. Anyway, moving on. Mia. Oh, and for context, I'm not calling Raf a bowl of jello. I don't think I've had jello. Might have had a bit of jelly in the past. My stomach is a bit like jelly because it does wobble a little bit. A bit of a fat bastard, but not always. At the moment, yes. I need to open the window again. A bit warm. Had to shut it before because of the noise and interruption. Now, anyone in the chat, let me know if you would like to see what Presgrove's family, some of which, had to say about Michael Facecast. Let me know in the chat right now. Oh, Donna, you have missed out on so much up above. Oh my goodness. Now, let me try and get up right now if I can. Because I might need this in defense coming up. You never know. I just have to scroll through my video just to get the screenshots. Oh, naughty, naughty people. When will you learn? I have more receipts than a till does in a superstore. Actually, best not say that. It's not literal. Some people have over 500 screenshots. Let's just see. Is there any more comments here? Shut up, dog in the background, interrupting me or to start barking in a second. What's going on here? Victor Presgrove also called out the army page. Don't worry. I've got some receipts. I'll share them to you. I'm just saving them as we go along because I might need to do a video. Donna, Raf, did you get a fur baby? Yes, it's resting upon my chin, my chinny chin chin. Very soft, if you'd like to stroke it. Donna, would you like to pet my bird? It's called Raffy. It does not bite, don't worry. Just make sure you don't bite because I don't want those teeth coming out. Donna says, ew, sorry, my God. But at least Tim Daniel appreciates it, you know? Don't worry, Tim. Tim can relate because, actually, we best not get too much into it because, shut up, dog. Motherfucker. Why do people interrupt me, including dogs? Have some manners. Know your place, know your role, or I will turn into Scooby-Doo. Anyway, I was going to say about the bird, but best not talk about that because the conspiracy will come out that Tim Daniel had donated a gram of his beard. It got mixed in the laboratories and it somehow ended up glued to my face. But we best not say that because those conspiracies can run very wild and deep, can't they? Donna, my teeth are in the kitchen in the window next to my... Is that supposed to say your potatoes? Must have got hungry. Brenda, they're not in Noah's truck. Right. Oh, here we go. Victor Presgrove calling out Justin Roy in the army page. Tup. I'm sure people don't understand. Oh, tomatoes, potatoes, it's the same thing at the end of the day. They can be juicy either way, can't they? Anyway, right, we're getting there. Okay, let's go through the first round, the first wave. I don't know if anyone see it because like when I'm bobbing up and down, I do like Gordon Ramsay as I keep moving like that without quite swearing. Let me just make sure I've got them. Yeah, we have them right now, and I'm going to share them with you right now. It's good that we do this in preparation because of what could happen next and how it could follow. Almost like systematically planning out what could go wrong and how people could react before it's even happened. That's how advanced things can be. Some people can find it boring. You want to fall behind, feel free. You want to be a part of the rat race, feel free. Mia, ding ding, round one. Here we go. Yeah, okay. You might not be able to see it clearly, but I'll read it out to you. Just want to make sure I've got everything in place. Of course, if this was a pre-recorded video, it'd be like a slideshow on screen. If we need to do that someday, we will. All right. Oh, what does that say? Robin Smith, the Robin Smith, says, I am not in the case discussion page at that time when commenting, so I cannot respond to Michael Fazekaz's ridiculousness there. So I will here. Michael Fazekaz, I've never supported you nor shown any encouragement for your efforts. You are, first and foremost, a criminal and have seen some kind of agenda that, quite frankly, I don't understand. You, Michael, are disrespectful. Your behavior is and has always been shameful when it comes to my family and what we are looking to do. You, Michael, have been told to move along by numerous members of my family, yet here you are. You are deliberately being ignored by the other members of my family, and yet here you still are. You can tout yourself as much of some kind of savior, some kind of hero all day long. But at the end of the day, you are someone who has pushed yourself onto a grieving family. And even after being asked and told repeatedly to back off, you continue. It's harassment, Michael. Harassment at this point. It's not appreciated. Oh, Michael. Naughty, naughty. Have the cheek to act like a cheeky little boy in the classroom in the live chat, giggling about trying to be all quirky. I don't think you're in a position to be talking, okay? We want to talk about fake accounts or duplicate accounts. Yeah, how to get the numbers up. No, let's just focus back in with what's real and what existed at the time. Look on screen. Rebecca Gagliari, if you're still here lurking in the background, you might not be able to handle the emotions, but facts don't care about feelings. And what's factual is at this point in history back then, that's what Robin had to say. Of course, things can change with time and people can mend and come back together, and everyone's all on board now. But there was a time when it was fragmented. So you should know what it's like to be in the shits. So you should be very cautious about your own wording. You saw that. There's other screenshots. There's so much more. I could do a collection from what the police have had to say about Justin. Well, actually, we've already done a video on that extensively. Well, I can do a video again. Simmer down, know your place, know your role. Okay? You me a good little boy? No? Wow. There's always alternatives. I hope I don't have to deploy the whip of wrath. See, I'll tell you one thing, Robbie, George, and anyone else. The reason why I've not used my whip in a long time isn't because of fear of taking it out of context, but it's because some people are going to enjoy it too much. And certain people don't deserve to enjoy my tool. You know what I'm saying? It's a punishment, not pleasure. And if people take it as pleasure, then they're not learning from their lesson. And I am wasting valuable resources in applying that smooth, cold leather finish upon someone's skin. Metaphorically speaking. Donna, sausage roll. Donna, you and your dirty words. How dare you? This is supposed to be high standards where we are talking. Donna, I think you're going to need a bigger boat. Anyway, as for docking it, that could be a problem. Got to tie it up. Anyway, Mia's eyes open rather wide and vast. I'm not surprised. It's a very interesting time. Yes, Raf. Oh, Donna, don't say, Raf, can you be my captain? No, 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 no. I don't wear uniforms. What else do we have on here? So, for anyone watching, as you can see, hard evidence and proof. Don't like it, tough shit. And you know what? I will be holding on to them within the album for the time being, just in case anyone has the cheek to come at me. I will do a video about it again and again and again, because that's what consistency is. And that was just round one. We do have a round two as well if we get to it in just a second. We're not finished yet. So basically, Robin has said that Michael Faizkaz has been harassing the victim's family at one point in time. Not a good advocate, not a good look, is it? It was Robin that called Michael Faizkaz as a criminal. What does that mean? Maybe I'm too innocent because I don't have a single mugshot. Sorry. I don't even have my face on an actual mug, or a can, or a top. Shame. Donna, the fact you use high standards with the something of us, you're too cute. Is that Sam? Now, in fairness, Donna, your words may not break me, but there certainly was a time previously where a person's words did break me a few times and I had to cover my face. I think I turned into a tomato at some point. Anyway, where are we at? What else do we have on here? Oh, there's one here. Ashley Chadwick calling Michael a liar. Oh, another Presgrove family member. Oh, it goes on and on and on. It's a good thing I have a memory decent enough to refer back to this. I shouldn't have to be defending myself in the first place, but this is just how reality is. Let me just double check. Does it actually show? Not quite. Let's get a screenshot of that. Oh, it's not in 1080. How dare you, you peasant. Come on. Why did the window shut again? I forgot. It's because whenever I open the window, there's always noise. First it was train, then it was the dog barking. Rude. Right. What's happened whilst I was gone? Well, to summarise it, Joyce began. Donna left her teeth next to the tomatoes. Donna is fantasizing about sausage rolls, got slightly turned on by the whip of Raph, secretly demands the vibrational tool of Raph, which has been shown on camera many times already, and has complained about a massive whale or something needing more room to park in the dock, in which I'm supposed to be the captain. The ship is sinking, and Donna, we need landscaping. We need the grass cutting in the ocean. We need trees cutting down. Come on, Joyce Begau. Got to build those fences up in the ocean. I don't know how you're going to do it, but somehow you got to do it. You got to trap Donna's sausage roll, which, to be honest, if it's in the water, it's going to get very soggy and floppy. Which, Donna, you did not take that into consideration. It's going to get hypothermia. How dare you do that? You're not looking after it. You need to take it to a veterinary. Anyway, what I'm trying to do, basically, I've told Michael Faye's Kazov for being a naughty individual. We know MF can mean other words as well. Mother, beep. That's what I first thought it actually meant before it was an abbreviation for someone's name, well, initials. Right, well, we've got that one. Any others? Right, let's just stick with it for now. I think Donna Bond has laughed so hard her ass has fallen off. But no way, we'll do replacement surgery for that. Mia, we need more ref after dark videos. Is the juicy potato. That's one way of wording it. Just the one? Ah, that's why. Slicky, Donna, the reason why there's only one juicy potato is because Mitchell has got the other ball. Golf ball, potato, in disguise. Oh, it's all coming together now. I told you I was good at solving mysteries. Anyway. What else do we have on now? Oh yeah, screenshot. Let's just work with what we've got for now. Sometimes context is provided later, at times. It's the initial attitude of people. Look at it this way. If what Casey had said was heat of the moment, she didn't actually mean it, or it was misdirected, it is what it is. But in the heat of the moment, it was what was said with a certain intent and attitude. And that can have a lasting impression. Based on psychology, the psychology videos that I've done, it's who it's by that can have the most profound effect. I will talk about that later towards the end of this live stream as a heads up as to what to expect next, okay? Donna, can you solve the mystery of the Christmas tree? Yeah, I can. From what I heard, Donna, Lisa Jediman almost crashed her car into that Christmas tree. A ball bulb landed on her head, and that's why she's very lackadaisical all of a sudden. Begow, nut boob. Just the one? Where's the other one gone? The mystery of the missing nipple? Donna's probably bit it off. What is it? Bit off what you can't chew. Is that what it is? Mia, I love the psychology videos. It's good then. Yeah, Ref After Dark. Well, we'll do some anonymous polls shortly. I'll explain how that works just so everyone is safe. Not safe from me, I mean safe in terms of voting, because not everyone wants to say it out loud. I get that. All under control. Redneck woman. I can actually do a decent redneck accent. I can do a female redneck accent as well. Why? I don't know. Maybe not. Just briefly touching upon it. Ashley Chadwick, the cousin of Noah Presgrove, calling out Michael Fazekaz. Hello, everyone. I'm coming on here to address some things that were stated on Reddit regarding some attacks that have apparently came about. As I'm aware of these said attacks, or where they came from, I'm unaware of, I should say. I did, however, inquire about them on Reddit, where things were sharing proof about Noah's family. Unfortunately, the full truth was not brought forwards. Oh no. This will be shared below. I couldn't fit it all on screen, but just as an example. Along with this, Michael Fazekaz has claimed various things that have not brought anything forward to support what he is stating, as in claiming Robin was in his inbox requesting him to change the verbiage of this ridiculous petition. When in fact, this is not what she said. This will be shared below, as this is one matter brought to light with having to prove that he is falsely making said statements. So basically, Noah Presgrove's cousin at the time, Ashley Chadwick, was saying Michael Fazekaz is a liar. Robin Smith back then was calling Michael Fazekaz a criminal and a harasser, harassing the victim's family. Do you really want these people as advocates in a case? It's absolutely pathetic and embarrassing. But this is what happened in the Dylan Rounds case as well. You had advocates that had a criminal record in, at some point, digital harassment and more. Donna says, go on, Raf, let's hear it. Okay. I need to cover the mouth, so then I can't get done for making a mockery of anything. Oh, howdy there, Donna. Long time no see. Hey there, mister. I think you need... I'm sorry, I'm turning into Barney the dinosaur there. I think you need to mow the lawn, but don't worry, Joyceburg Gal's not far around town. There you go. It was supposed to, I don't know who it was supposed to be an impression of, to be honest. Somewhere exactly. What I find interesting, there was another person, another female on Facebook that said, I can't stand Raf's voice. Well, instead of sitting there whining, explain why and what voice you want. I can do 16 accents from around the world. I can do a full farmyard impression sound. I can do Arnold impression. I can do Barney the dinosaur. I can even do bloody Kermit the Frog whilst juggling with Donna's potatoes, right? I can do a lot of different voices, accents, sounds. Even at one point, someone said, Raf, your vibrations through the throat are like a vibrating toy. It brings me great pleasure. This is what I mean. Multifunctional, multidimensional. Instead of sitting there complaining about, oh, I don't like Raf's voice, explain why. Do you want an Indian accent? Do you want an Irish accent? Do you want a Scouse accent? You want an accent from Birmingham? Or should I say Birmingham? You want a Valley Girl accent? You want me to paint my nails? Nope. Probably not going to do that. What do you want? You have all the options in the world, but you choose not to pick any. Why do humans do that? I talk too slow. Well, I can talk very fast, but you might not understand me. I talk too fast. I can talk very slow, but you might fall asleep. You see where this is going exactly. Donna says, oh my Bob. Bob the Builder. Smooth brain, welcome, smooth brain. I don't think you can have a smooth brain after this live stream, what we saw earlier on. I won't give your personal information in that petition to a felon who waited exactly 10 years to become a notary as 300,000 emails in jiu-jitsu. What? I don't know. Black belt. I've got a couple black belts back there. I don't make a big song and dance about it. Anyway, I think this has gone down very well, but I've completely neglected what the time is. Oh, not too bad. Right, okay. Well, I've defended myself, I've explained everything, and if people don't listen, that's not my problem, is it? All the witnesses that are still watching right now, there we go. Raf, how about Tibetan Mongolian throat singing? Well, like this. Something like that. Yeah, I can do Mongolian throat singing. I don't know what I'm actually saying, but I don't know if it translates well through the speakers, okay, but when I have done it, it sends vibrations through people's chest. Okay. Normally, after this length of time of talking, I can't always do all the sounds because the vocal cords are a bit strained, but managed to do it this time round. Oh, it looks like the Mongolian throat singing has calmed Bagao down. Very calming to send off to sleep. Take care. Sleep well. Oh my God, why is Joyce Bagao going to sleep? You're hours behind me. Donna, Ref, and Green go hand in hand. What? Green beans, the jolly green giant. Is that what I am? Ho, ho, ho. Right, what do I want to talk about? What else is there? There was a Facebook post, but you know what? With the time that we're on, I might save that for another day or a separate video, okay? Because I want to talk about a trap that I could have been put in if I hadn't acted accordingly, okay? So we're going to talk about that right now. Some of the characters within the Presgrove case community, and I sense that maybe it was a trap, something may have been in place at the time to capture me, not literally, and then some of it on the sideline. So, Vanessa Salazar. Some people have said that Vanessa Salazar in a group chat decided to use a photo of a fake topless waiter to make me jealous because I didn't want to be with her and she wanted to be with me. So for played the jealousy card for a topless waiter to try and get my attention because supposedly the topless waiter has more muscle than me. But I guess the difference is one takes injections, the other one does not. Self-explanatory. So that's a bit of a weird claim on the side, but what I did find interesting was at the time of communicating with Vanessa Salazar specifically about the case, Vanessa received a default profile, a threat warning her to either step away or to step back. And it just happened that I received one as well. As for the account, it was a default account, probably a throwaway one. Default profile picture, a threat, a warning to me, implying that bad things could happen if I either continue on with the case or in the presence of Vanessa Salazar. Oh, really? You know what happens there? When a person is fragile in a toxic way, and they feel that they can't keep someone around, they will play the victim card, the damsel in distress, to appear wounded, impacted. You can't leave me. Let me try and think of something to put me in a vulnerable way. So then they will feel sorry and fall back into my arms. Oh, really? Is that the plan you're going to do? Systematically, psychology, going to try and plan that all out? I don't think so. Could be the case. Because did anyone else receive any threats or weird spam messages in the background? No, it was only Vanessa Salazar and supposedly me. How convenient that is. Oh, we got these horrible messages. We need to stick together and stay safe. Oh, I bet that's what you want or wanted at the time. Didn't work, did it? Mind games. Mind games. People have the intent, the attitude to possibly do that with me. How rude. On the sideline, we have, I don't know how you say that. Oh, it's use your brain. Use your brain. Oh, finally get it now. That's good. Is that a profile picture of a cat? I don't know. Donna, give us a Geordie accent. I've never done that one before. I will need to go into the darkness and practice it myself, okay? You want an Irish accent? Donna, where's you put the potatoes? Left it on the side. Top of the morning. Where's the leprechaun? I don't know. I can't be the leprechaun. I'm 6'2". Anyway, referring back to Vanessa Salazar, I am thinking that at the time, that default account sending that threat, that warning to her to make her look vulnerable, for me to feel protective, that type of psychological response, what a male is supposed to do. But then I receive a message similar from the same person, the same account. But supposedly Vanessa had form for creating fake accounts to communicate with other people whilst the army page was in full support of that. What was stopping her from doing that with me to try and make me get closer to them? Because they couldn't do it naturally, they had to do it unnaturally. That's not honesty, that's manipulation. How can you build any connection healthy enough with manipulation? You can't. The moment you have to use force to get something you want, the moment you have to use emotional blackmail to get someone to follow in line with you, that's the moment that connection, that friendship, that relationship has crumbled completely. It's not worth it. It's not healthy. I didn't even get to that point because I was a bit too cautious, and it looks like I was right in that circumstance. I think it may have been a tactic to lure me in, and it would have been detrimental to my YouTube channel. And it would have been completely destroyed if I had followed through with it. And let's not forget, they had an ex-boyfriend in the military, or once was. And as for their mindset, at times could be in a dark place. If I was in the presence of Vanessa, what do you think happens? Luckily, I'm not in the same country, but you can think typically like a movie or a film. You become friends with someone or close to someone in some way, and then some person in the background that was once around gets jealous. They're going to kill me. Simple as. It did not happen. It didn't go to that point. But this is what I mean. A trap like that could have taken place. Now, what about the next one? Caden Pressey. There was a potential trap, not done with intent, but it could have gone dark. It could have led to whispers in the air. I don't know if anyone remembers it, but during a live chat premiere on my channel, there was a time where Caden Pressey had said, "Hey, Raf, are you on Xbox?" I wasn't at the time, but I was in the past from, what time was it? 2008, 2007, 2006, I can't remember, right? Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One S, and then after 2018, 2019, I went on to PC gaming, so I wasn't on Xbox anymore, and I'm not right now. But Caden asked, because Caden is a gamer like me, plays video games, or was at the time, as of 2024 onwards, has an Xbox, and he said to me, "Hey, we should play some time. What's your username?" And it's like, well, sorry, I can't because I'm on PC. You know why that's interesting? Whilst I'm not a police person, I'm not a private investigator, but I'm covering this case that they're a part of. Do you honestly see the conflicts of interest there? What could possibly have gone down if I had said, yes, I'm on Xbox, let's do a game chat, let's do a voice call? Are we talking about the games, or are we talking about the case? Are we trying to sweeten the deal, the situation, to try and pull the wool over my eyes? Is this some kind of covert plan? Or is it natural on the forefront, but then certain someone in the background comes on in and says, "Caden, who are you talking to? You talking to Raf? Not good." Oh, is that exactly what was going to happen? Maybe. As in, playing a game, it's all innocent. It's not literally that, but the formula, one thing to another, I'm not saying that it is, it's like grooming, winning them on side, giving them rewards, praise, positivity, hope. You don't owe me anything. You don't have to give anything. It's all fine. But then later on, there's a demand, there's a debt, there's something, and then you're trapped. Was I being led into the lion's den only to be trapped and with no way out to escape? Just an earpiece and listening into a person's voice, trying to twist, trying to manipulate, trying to win me over. What? So I'd be more lenient on one person compared to everyone else in this entire case? I think I know too much, or at least I anticipate too much, whether it happens or not. Oops. You can see where it could have gone. Vanessa Salazar, I could have been trapped. I could have been killed by that jealous ex of hers. Caden Pressey followed through with that, could have gone into the lion's den, could have been in a compromising position. It would have compromised my credibility, my balance on the case, and it could have gone bad. few other people on the sideline too, which we'll acknowledge in just a second. Mia, ref, ignore the idiots and haters. Much love, endless respect from the wild, hot, and haunted West. Yeehaw. Good night, Mia. Take care. I like how all these people from the US that are many hours behind are actually falling off to sleep before me. Am I a vampire? Oh, I bet there's the odd person in the background that would rather enjoy that if I was a vampire. From Batman to vampire. Maybe I can be both at the same time. I'm sure that's exactly what I can do now, later, whenever you're ready. Anyway, moving on. The other people, and I don't want to mention the name because, well, it's just easier. A particular person from the US, possibly Georgia. Okay. However, they had a mugshot, and when I looked online, appearance-wise, very deceiving to the profile picture. It's not to be rude, but their mugshot, their size, wasn't consistent with their profile picture. Bit deceiving. But that's not the focus. The focus is they were done for assault, battery on a family member. Whether a family dynamic is toxic or not, if I am in a potential situation with someone, and that someone may want something, and they've got a history or a moment in time of a battery or assault, and sometimes they may have made jokes about whipping about, I know exactly what would happen there. I could, if followed through, may have been in a toxic situation environment, which could have led to domestic issues, and I would not have been well off at all. That could have gone very badly. I'm not saying certain words because it might trigger, but basically I could have been screwed. But I sensed it. I checked for, the mugshots, and I found it. Battery, physical. Would they do the same to me? Probably. I avoided that. And then the other one, the witch. We don't need to say the name. Probably already said it earlier. Visions of if I woke up in bed and they're at the edge with a knife. It'd probably be a murder case. Their personality as it shifts. The way it could go. Wouldn't go well at all. I managed to dodge that though. Mia, yes, I concur. That vampire image. Oh, okay. Bye everyone. Off to sleep before work tonight. Crazy shifts this week. Okay. We've got OGB. Welcome to the channel. I don't know if you used an emoji there. I can't tell. Okay. Shout out to the people still watching in the background. And those with the emojis, much appreciated. It's a good idea, YouTube, adding them in. I don't think, you know those emojis on screen, they were only added in as of 2023 onwards. They never existed before that. I think it's a good feature to have just for the sake of it visually, but also it gives people an alternative voice to react in such ways they might not be able to other ways, basically. So yeah, that's good. Anyway, there's going to be a fallout. There's going to be a downfall. There's going to be drama on Facebook in the background, coordinated, make me look bad, paint a bad picture, play external victim cards, personal representatives. I'm the bad person because I'm a male, because I've got a straight face, because I'm realistic, because I've got common sense, because I go to depths other people don't go to, because I put emotions at the door and I use critical thinking. That's what makes me an evil person in the eyes of the impetuous, right? That's what's going to happen. and how it may follow. If it comes this way, I will have to defend myself. I'll have to use those screenshots what I shared with you earlier, and I'll just have to do a deep, well, not a deep dive. I'll just have to do like a compilation, okay? So it's good. We're getting it set in place before it's happened. So more efficient when it comes about. There's another feature, not that it can be done right now. I think it's only on mobile, but on my YouTube channel, I can respond back to comments in the comment section with a voice recording. I've never tried it yet. And I'm sure if I did, those that aren't aware, they would be scared shitless, thinking, oh my God, how can you be speaking to us even in the comment section? Am I going to hear you speaking in my room next? Well, is that what you want? Do tell. Anyway. Interesting times. At least the hair isn't as wonky this time round. And I'm actually standing a bit more straight because I can actually see where the camera is on the screen now. I was always looking off center, but then again, when I closed my eyes in the last live stream, I was ended up looking over there as far as I didn't end up in the toilets, the direction that I was looking in. Anyway, just so I don't waste anyone's time, I'm going to do a bit of a mini countdown now, and then I'm going to be talking briefly about some potential upcoming videos, okay? So if you don't want to hear about that, you can do whatever you need to do now, okay? So I'll just do a little countdown now. Any final questions, any final comments, whatnot, and then I'll just give a little bit of a debrief as to what to expect next, okay? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, take care, Robbie, 12, don't worry, I'll do the countdown again, 11, 10, 9, Tim, I found a horse in the sand dunes. There we go. Tim, make sure you get one of Lan's saddles from BBC and put it on that horse, okay? Take care. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I like that. That heart was in tune with mine then on that countdown, on the same synchronicity. That was good, that. I remember that in the past. The timing of it. Robbie. Toes in the sand watching Graph. Doesn't get better than that. Is it wearing any shorts? Okay. If anyone else is still watching though, or joins late, be sure to rewind back to the beginning for full context. Okay. 3, 9. Oh, we're counting back and forth. Nice. Confused the mind. So, as for a video tomorrow, of course, I could just do it on Nancy Guthrie. If there is anything to talk about on the sideline, I could possibly try that. The positive is, up to now, that Nancy Guthrie video that I did is still public. It's not being limited, unlike the, in the early days of the Rebecca Zahau case. I was worried that that crime scene photo of the blood droplets would get me done. But because I set it to black and white, I was okay up to now. So maybe there is a workaround in the future. You need to use the evidence to be able to present it. YouTube makes it more difficult then. Anyway, beside that, I could do a Nancy Guthrie video. But of course, there are other ideas as well that I need to tick off the list. I still need to do the part 2 psychology video with the heart. Unfinished business there, but I think that should be later because that's more positive. That in between, I need to do another psychology video. I did check the poll results. Um, Understandably, the odd person didn't want it. That's fair, but the majority did want it. So I guess I'll make it. And I don't know if it's ready to do yet or not. I can do it whenever, but it depends if people are ready for it or not. And there's a time and place. What else is there? The 50 Shades. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but just put it this way. As for the emojis which people have been using, that's anonymous. So no one's going to know. But if you can use it as a yes or a no, that could possibly help. I don't know. It's like a little exercise, just a little way of expressing without being known, maybe. Or Tim Daniel coming in right with the emojis instead. That's the other way to do it, of course. So, as for tomorrow, let me just see, okay? It might not work quite to plan, of course, but use a heart in any, what's this? Time for fish and chips. Okay. Okay, get the fish. Is it still flopping about? Right, now. So, for example, tomorrow, if I was to do a video, would you want 50 Shades of Ref? Or is that too soon? If anyone from afar can let me know, maybe, if you would like to see 50 Shades of Ref tomorrow. Or there's other options. OJB uses the laughing face, so doesn't mean to say no, it could mean maybe. Oh, stop teasing me. Use your brain. May want that. Okay. Okay, in the background. 50 Shades. I'll give a bit of context as well, just so you know what to anticipate, because, oh, yeah, okay, I will. I'll have to prep myself. It's been a while, but I know what I'm gonna say. Maybe we should set the story right now. As I said, I can't say it during the video because it'll break the immersion, but if anyone doesn't like whips or might be too triggering, you can feel free to skip that video, okay? But for those that greatly welcome it, well, there shouldn't be a problem. OJB, oh my God. I've got a full collection back there in all different shapes and sizes. The Texas Tornado 360 whip, the holy whip of Ref. One touch, you'll never be the same again. Tim Daniel, can't believe it. His jewels have dropped. What does that mean? I don't know. I made that up on the spot. His buttons are pinged off. Trying to find them in the sand. Oh, Tim's ready. Tim is ready for it. There we go. Wear protection. So, it looks like that's what's going to happen tomorrow. The whip is coming back out. And this time round, we'll be fixing more than a few Wi-Fi boxes. Actually, in other words, there will be no fixing. I'll simply be appreciating what's present in front of me. I'm getting a bit too into it already. I need to calm myself down. So, we'll see how it goes. What I will say, if anyone's been watching closely, the last time I did a video on the verge of 50 Shades, a dark type of video, reading from a book that doesn't even exist, only in here. And the words that I said, the lines that I said back then in that particular video as I was stood in this same position with the tripod in front of me, every word that was said then, every word that's meant right now, it's not changed whatsoever. Shh. So maybe we follow on from that. Maybe we call it 50 Shades of Wrath Beyond the Core. Because I want to go all the way. Do you? I do feel sorry for anyone that's joined rather late to this. But if you need counseling, don't worry, I can do that on top. Before or after? Well, we'll see. The problem is, we're doing this live stream. I didn't have time to eat any chocolate beforehand, and it might be too late to eat chocolate before bed. That's a shame, that, because I'm hungry. But then again, maybe it's a good thing that I am hungry and my appetite is there, so I'm ready for tomorrow. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. But just as a double check to make sure everything's okay and in place, just let me know right now if you're ready for that type of video tomorrow. Of course, it's going to be rather different from the case, true crime and all that, but it can still be done on the side. Just let me know right now if you're ready for that type of video and I can follow through with it. Tomorrow will be a pre-recorded one, just so you know. It needs to be polished. How much was that? Not too bad. We might have broken or come close to a record in engagement reactions tonight, which would be a positive. Okay. Any final questions, comments, anything you want, feel free to leave it in the chat. I will do a final countdown now. I think we've gone on long enough and it's been a successful live stream, I would say, despite the few odd ones out earlier on, you know? Okay. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yes, Slicky. 5941076789103234517. I won't be surprised if someone then says, "Oh my God, you've doxed my phone number." I'm so sorry. It happens. Okay. I don't know if it is. Bit of a random observation is, but you know, all kinds of thoughts go on in my head. I wonder if it's possible for it to be a grounding, calming exercise. You know, like tapping or pressing something, clicking something, rhythmic, calming methods, counting and thinking, timing and matching and pairing. That could be a grounding effect, but it can also be a sign that what one person does, another person is not far from that. As in, as one person does one action, another person um, is in sync, interactional synchrony, mirroring one another in unique individual ways. If it helps, if it works, that's good. Before I do go, I should have gone now because I've done the countdown and being a bit naughty now. Well, how should I yeah. Because I did that poll on that psychology video in between everything, as in an extension. Just let me know if that's something you want partially explaining now to prepare OCD. Okay. Routine, pattern, pacing on your own terms, your control, your actions on your terms, maintains balance, maintains stability, maintains an order. And when there's an order in place, things are a little bit clearer, lighter, easier to breathe, metaphorically and maybe literally. Okay. I saw the reactions just then, so I'll touch upon it. I don't want to go too deep, of course, because it is late, but just as a heads up, the psychology video, it is aimed more at relationships rather than family and all of that. So it might not apply to everyone, but maybe you could apply it in your own way. I wanted to touch upon a method of healing which has not been talked about before, and it's another step, it's another method in moving on, moving forwards, being able to do what needs to be done or part of it in the moment, being able to find a release. If a human has ever had the thought of, I want to shake it off, I want to release it from here, maybe there is a way, or there is an attempt. And I have constructed it in here from the beginning to the end. Symbolisms, but actual actions. Actions that you can do safely. I did take in consideration as well about a fire and water. Might sound a bit weird that, but I took that into consideration because if you're in a flat, if you're in an apartment, you might not be able to start a fire because the firemen will come on round and extinguish the fire out and then you'll be soggy. The whole room will be soaked. We don't want that. So there is an alternative. I did consider that as well. So what I'm going to do, I'll explain it clearer when the time comes, but there is a way of releasing. However, the backstory is important, and what the backstory will be, specifically in terms of a relationship, as example, will be explaining or providing a perspective as to why it's profound, why it's difficult to move on from. Not so much the physicality of it, but the psychological part. And whilst what can be touched upon is the psychological actions by the bad person, it's actually more deeper than that. I said I will explain it more in the video, but combining the physical, the psychological, and anything else in between, it's who it's caused by. That is the root of all pain. Who it's caused by and why they did what they did. There is more to it, but I'll just leave it there for now because I don't want to go too deep. But I'm not going to leave it on a cliffhanger, okay? As said, I need to pace my videos because I don't want it to get too overwhelming because I don't want to do a meaningful psychology video and then the next thing you see me whipping people about all over the place on camera. That could be taken out of context. So I've got to pace it. I've got to give disclaimers now so you know what to expect next because if I don't give a disclaimer, people might be very confused. That's why I had to say, "What do you want tomorrow?" And people, at least those that are present right now, would like the 50 Shades, so that's what I will do. Bejeebus. Bejeebers. Have I seen Bejeebus before? Or am I thinking of someone else? I don't know. With a kitty cat profile. I don't know what that profile is. Bejeebus. Yeah, Bejeebus. I think I remember you. Why am I still talking in that tone? I think when I do accents too much, I end up getting stuck in it. Oh my god, if I do that 50 Shades accent, I get stuck in it, and then the next day I say it again. I have to remember not to do that. I'll have to practice my voice as well because I've not done that particular 50 Shades accent for quite some time. But I guess to the person watching, there's a lot more to play with, isn't there? Like it's like a scratching post for the cats. Slicky, mental whiplash. It could be. You were stood. I appreciate that. At least as in stamina. That'd be of an Arabian horse, I believe. Anyway, grip strength still there. Not had to grip anything though. Huh. Anyway, anything else? No, I think that's it. I don't know if there's ever a time where a psychology live stream needs to be done, or it might just be better that I just simply give like a debrief or no, not a debrief, it's not even happened yet, a briefing as in what happens next, like what I've already done. I can do the psychology on the spot somehow. I seem to have the flow. I guess I'm not going to do it right now, but actually, I don't think it really matters because with live premieres, you can always click the video off. Like with a live stream, you can always click the video off, but you don't have to do it. But let's just say to give a scenario, because this is about rebuilding stuff. This is about building back things. This is about utilizing what's present in alternative ways. There is a way to say no. That might sound a bit weird, that, but the good thing is with live streams, with those reactions, I'm clicking it right now. The next emoji that you see is me, okay? Like that one. That can mean shock, surprise. It can mean maybe in a positive way, but it can also mean negative, like shock, oh my God. And that's good. That shocked face could resemble and mean no. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to hear about that too much. The heart can obviously be a positive sign. The celebration or whatever can be a positive sign. The thumbs up, if there was one, that can be positive as well. And then the smile can be a combination of stuff. But it's like, I'll give an example. I'm just trying to think of a random example. I can't really. But like if I was talking right now and you didn't like something, if you was to hit the shocked face, not that the context will always be there, but it's like, do you want this? Do you want that? And if you used to say no and use the shock face, then it's like being able to communicate without having to give too much or use too much, if that makes sense. I wonder if we should just like give it like a brief example. I just can't think of a question on the spot. It's like when I'm on the spot, the mind goes blank. Or I could say, do you like apples? Do you like clowns? And if you didn't like clowns, you could hit the shocked face, Or if I said, are you attracted to nuns? Anyway, what? Slicky is a bit dizzy, or I don't know. Or you hypnotize Slicky. I don't know if that's the drunk emoji or the oh no, Slicky, have you got drunk off fish and chips or have you been eating too many wine gums? Either way, on the sideline, those little emojis, and it doesn't have to be an anonymous emoji. It can just be a simple emoji in chat. Like, let me do one of my own, okay? if I'm not closing my eyes, telepathically speaking, I'm sure I can telepathically send a certain emoji. Let me just try and build one right now, if it is possible. Bear with me. Oh my God, click, not working. It's like hieroglyphics in a way, this. Little fit on. Oh, it doesn't fit on, bastard. It's a unique one, that. Use your brain with the biceps, posing with the muscle. Yeah. Anyway. They dribbled them. Okay. Probably waffled on, but as you can see, there's a way of building and working around things. There can always be a way around it, right? In the meantime, long term, whatever. It'll be an interesting video tomorrow. Good timing. It's good timing to do it, actually. Because true crime can be heavy, but doing these little videos on the sideline, some serious, some not, it just breaks up a little bit, more refreshed when returning back to something else. Anyway, I think that'll do for now. So big shout out to everyone that has watched the live stream, especially those watching in the background right now all this time, and anyone that has watched earlier on. It's also good returning faces. People, it's good that I can remember the people as well. That's always a positive. And just consistency. As I said, just prepare yourself for any war, any backlash from some of the earlier people. I've got the receipts. You've seen them. We got Donna. We love you, Raf. Big shout out to Donna's tomatoes. Sounds a bit dodgy, that, doesn't it? Oops. So yeah, I'll do another countdown because I feel like doing a countdown. Sometimes the views go up when I'm doing these countdowns. Probably people think it's like some kind of abstract art. Imagine if I was in a city just stood there doing some random countdowns. Oh, ZX0, Mortal Kombat expert, Mr. Channel membership donator, Sliverin. Oh, Sliverin, if you were there earlier, I would have done the, what do you call it? Snape voice. Big shout out to Sliverin, still present with the magic wand. Donna's tomatoes, juicy than ever. Oh, shouldn't have said that. Blue Bonnets, I remember you. Welcome. And to rewind, haven't seen you in a while. You too. Was Blue Bonnets around with the Dylan Rounds case, maybe? ZX0. Do we still have it? We don't at the moment. Well, it's still in the background. Yes, I remember ZX0. Key person on the channel. Wow. I like how people just appear out of nowhere. It's like a magic trick going on. Yes, with Dylan. I remember that. Yeah. Consistent people. That's positive. So for anyone leaving right now, take care, sleep well, and I'll finish off with the final countdown. Truly. Ooh, ZX with a TV screen. Me holding the cube. That little emoji there, that black one, that's actually of me wearing a Borderlands mask. Bandit mask, I think it's called. Unfortunately, it's not quite clear to see, but then again, it's because I was wearing a black coat. Tried putting an outline around it, but a bit dark. But then again, I guess if you're on YouTube, the light mode, not the dark mode, you'll be able to see the emoji. Anyway, I don't think I can count down in a different language. No, I can't. I'll stick to the English. Easier. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Now you're actually, it's Picasso good level. I appreciate that. You can't see it, ZX, but if I show you this one, you might have to zoom in. That's actually of I think a raven with cosmic ravens in the background. Donna Bond with a number 53, a number 27. Are you ordering a takeaway, Donna? Again? Or is this for your dog? Killer kitty, meow. I appreciate that, Zero. Oh, goodness gracious, I've lost my count. Where should I start? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, tres, dos, uno, cero. Did a bit of Spanish there. Takeaway. Yep, Donna's on the takeaway now. How are you going to order that, Donna? You're going to order that by a boat, cruise ship? ZX, what happened to our hero Kenny? Wow. Some say ZX, he took a trip to India and now looks like Mr. Bean based on the fake Robin. There is unfinished business over there, ZX, with the Roger Salter account, Robin Q&A. I've got to catch up with that. I've done the part 1 Q&A. I need to do the part 2, part 3. And not everyone believes in it. That's understandable, but I'll do it. I was going to take these other things off the list first to clear my head so it's not cluttered. Take care, Donna. Salt and vinegar chips. Okay. Make sure the dog doesn't steal any. Oh boy. Right. Okay. Talk about Robin. Okay. I don't even know why I'm laughing to us. Oh, Robin. Robin. Where is really Robin? No new video. Yeah, well, I have to do the videos when I can. Just tick some things off the list. What tends to happen is I'm about to do it and then suddenly there's breaking news and it pulls me back in the other direction, which is a pain, to be honest. I could just ignore the breaking news and just move back, but then, I don't know, I feel like I'll fall behind then shit goes down. But there will be time. There definitely will be time. But I need to do the whipping first tomorrow. That's important as well. So, yeah, okay. I'm going to end the stream just about now. Okay. So shout out to everyone that has watched. You can always rewind back if you want. And I think with the comments or the chat replay, you can always wait a few days and then it will save on YouTube. Okay. It will stay. So yeah, oh my God. Let me send some back. I want to click it. I want to break the record. I want to break the record. What is the record? 1,600? I'm good at fingering the keyboard. Where's the mouse pad, actually? Oops. Right, sorry, I've probably tired whoever out. Poor fingers. Need to rest the fingers, right? Stretch the fingers. Make sure they don't cramp up. Okay. I don't want to end the stream because it seems a bit too rude for the hearts to disappear. Right, there we go. Not interrupting anything, am I? Okay. Goodbye, good night, and take care.